a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What's up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. with a giant asterisk, as we'll talk about this week's schedule here. Happy holidays to everybody. Hope you guys are getting ready for Christmas Eve tomorrow. You got a big Christmas middle of the week on Wednesday. They did us right by scheduling, though. We got all kinds of games to get involved with throughout this couple of stretch here, but they do wind down as we get later parts of the day. So let's touch on the schedule real quick so you guys know exactly what to expect for what's happening this week here, because you know this is how we get paid. This is how we pay the bills. This is how we have fun. We got to know where and when so that we can make the run together. And that's the most important part here. So we've got action tonight. Shout out to my friend Razor Sharp Picks. We're going to be bouncing around the live stream, giving up that Green Bay, New Orleans Saints action. And look, I got a same game parlay. It's ready to go. I'm smiling because I just cashed a 55-1 parlay in the NHL. So we're feeling good. Now's the best time. When you get hot, you stay hot. You got to be in the right zone for those things, and I feel like we are there. So you're not going to want to miss out. Tonight's live stream will pop off. Excuse me. Hope I'm not developing a cold. We're going to pop off at, I believe it's 7:45. So get ready, get set. We're going to smash and cash these books tonight. We got a full card. We've got a ton of NHL. Just a day to go before the break for holidays. We've got a ton of NBA. They'll be rolling into Christmas, but I think we found some spots there tonight. And just a small college basketball card, but we're going to make the most of it. We'll give some look-aheads for college football. And then, of course, tomorrow, my man Ramon Scott will pop off at 9 a.m. for the morning steam. I've got dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. But I'm going to move fast for you guys. It's going to be a real short show tonight. Real short. Going to get in, going to give you some plays, going to get the hell out of there. Because I literally have to be somewhere at 7. So, actually before 7. So, that's going to make it a challenge, but we'll get through it. We'll see about Wednesday. There's like 2 games on the slate, so maybe we'll just post something in the community tab or pop a video. Then we get back to action. Thursday, we've got, of course, the morning steam with Ramon Scott. We've got sports money here. We've got pre-gaming. And then we've got Thursday night football. So we'll get after Thursday night football. Friday, we'll do it again. Morning steam, pre-gaming. And then Saturday, you'll start off the day with the morning steam. There's a ton of college football as we are in the heart of bowl season. And we're going to roll it back. We've got a 4:30 NFL game and a ton of college action, NHL action, NBA action, and all the rest. So that's the schedule. That's the week. Of course, the morning steam will be back on Sunday. And then we'll be back to probably a similar schedule next week because obviously we've got New Year's factored in there as well. So now you know. Now you know what to expect, when to expect it. We got live streams Monday night, Thursday night, Saturday. You know, we had a lot of fun last Saturday. Hopefully you guys came out there and made some money with us. We got that boxing spot down. Olsic, no problema. And then a bunch of other cash along the way. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks here as we get to it. See, I screwed this thing up. That doesn't matter. We'll just leave the banner up there. You can see what we're going to get into tonight. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hockey games. I did screw up that last one. It's not San Jose, Vancouver. Albeit I probably like that play anyways. I don't know what I was thinking. Then we got into the NBA, and I've got 1, 2, 3 NBA plays, which actually has a 4th and a 5th that I left off the schedule. So if you want NBA, tonight's the night to get in the action for the NBA. And just a solo Monday Night Football play here. And then I'll give you guys the same game parlay when we get on the live stream. So lots of action. Big night of betting. And we started off with a great day of betting, right? Community tab plays. I put out there 2-0. They were both even money spots. No blood, no juice, no nothing. Just give me that cash. We got the under 6 with the Rangers. We got the Winnipeg Jets. I had to think about it for a second because I had that thing parlay. Listen to the same game parlay. I had the first period under. I think it's gone under like 17 of 18 times. But then I had the full game over 6. So I needed that empty netter at the end. I had a player to get an assist. Nylander, he got one early. I had I forgot now who it was to score a goal. Sheffley for the Jets, of course. And then the Winnipeg Jets to win 55-1. It's great. It's great. Sent it to the first strike. The UFC 6. Not one of them sons of bitches played it. Can you believe it? Okay, we'll get over it. Their loss. But our game tonight, because I'm excited about the slate that we have. So let's get ready. Let's get set. You guys know the deal. Need your help. If you haven't done so already, this is how we grow, by pushing that thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know you're here watching. Then YouTube goes behind the scenes to find like-minded individuals, aka gamblers. We're all here hanging out. Where are they? Why aren't they here? And then when they show up, they drop their best bets, and we collectively win more money. That's how it works. That's the real deal. So take a second, close the chat, hit the thumbs up, then pop the chat open, and we'll go back to work. Thank you very much. Okay. I got an eyelash in my eyeball. It's irritating me. I think I got it. No. All I did is make it work. All I did is make it worse. But thank you guys for coming in here. You'll see that nothing has changed on the shit list. In fact, Aaron Rodgers, gentle, friendly reminder, what a pile of shit. Cashed an easy under yesterday. Cashed an easy LA Rams spot yesterday. That's a bum. An absolute fucking bum. But as far as last week's concerned, we've been strong. We've been piling in some W's from the show last week. Let me pull this up. Let's do this recap. Transparency is important. I love the ability to just keep it out there and bet stamp. I don't have to fumble fuck around for it anymore. And one of our favorite spots. Take the dominant defense against the weak offense in college basketball. Play that first half team total under. We easily cashed FAMU's team total under in the first half of 26.5. Love those spots. Love them. That's my new favorite college basketball spot. And there's like 4 teams, right? We talked about it. It's Virginia, it's BYU, it's Houston, and I forgot who the 4th one was. Somebody remind me who the 4th one was. Anyways, we cashed our teaser, Notre Dame and the under 56. Didn't even need a teaser. Just all the favorites, by the way, won this past weekend in the bowl matchups out there. Probably to be expected. How are you going to go on the road in a college football playoff atmosphere and bust up a team that's top ranked in front of 80, 90, 100,000 of their friends and family? Probably not going to happen. But still, it was fun to watch. And then we got that Notre Dame minus 6.5. So we double dipped in Notre Dame. Oh, damn. Providence. Shout out to Nasty Nate. I know he was there. And Providence, St. John's, Providence game. Thought they were going to win outright. 6.5. Easy cover for us. We did lose the Heat plus 1.5. They got busted up by 7 points. We did lose the Minnesota Wild. They got busted up. Well, they didn't get busted up, but they lost 2-1. We did cash an easy Cleveland spot against the Milwaukee Bucks. Fading the Bucks off of the NBA Cup. We lost our parlay. Dallas and Denver, not hip to be square, but we did cash the under 6 in Carolina, Washington. That's good enough for just under 3 units. Just under a positive 3 units. Grind it. We're grinders. Starting out up 2 units today. Big card. Big card. So let's get that pen and paper up. You know the deal. Now is the time to take down these notes, these trends, these angles, so that you can plug them in the back of your brain and look for them when they show up on your own front. We talk about them out loud. We talk about what cashed, what didn't work. But it's all to kind of just help everybody identify those spots more in the future. We got a couple spots we'll talk about tonight that I think are some unique spots that you want to consider. Not happening all the time, but spots that did pop up. And then on top of that, make sure you put your best bets in the chat. The best in the business come here. Put your plays out there. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what we can do, because it is us against the bookies. And we want to get going. So shout out to Joe T. Just give me the over in the football game, he says. LOL. Over. Sounds like a high-quality cap there. Just give me the over in that Saints and Green Bay game. Shout out to Gonzo in the house. Appreciate my guy Mike rocking with us. Here's Keith Each Every Stride. Says he likes Tucker Kraft. Anytime touchdown at plus 260. Have a great show. Solid casher before. Yeah, it was good. That was a good casher, Keith. We'll see you later. MJ Striker says Merry Christmas all. Sancho says Merry Christmas all. DJ Hardy's in the house. DJ Scumbag, as Jeff would say. Sancho, shouting out Sports Money. Nicholas Handy, appreciate you guys. There's Justin McKelvey. Says Sports Money is money. Arch King's in the house. Let's go. Old E. Trap God. Let's go. Sadly, I lost that game. I had the +3. I thought about it at halftime too. So I was basically 3 the other way. Couldn't do squat. Whatever. Congrats to you, though, Trap. Sounds like you were on NIU, my friend. You deserve it. Let's go. Appreciate you guys all. Mark Hell's here rocking with us. JP's in the house. JP's won a hoodie this weekend. Shout out to JP's. Let's go, you guys. Make sure you do hit that like button. Mark Hell. Play. Over 3.5 threes and 4. Over 3 and 4. Over 3.5 and 4. He's a little ladder. Play. Let's go. Joe W's in the house. My boy rocking with us here. Irish King says it's a big slate tonight. It is. Here's Gonzo's best bets. Woo, we're blowing up. Gonzo's on Washington money line, Detroit money line, and the Pittsburgh money line. Shout out to Big Scott. Big Scott won a hoodie. Panthers and Islanders money line. Yetis +1.5. 3-leg parlay at +380. I'll fire off the rest of the legs. I put a couple of multi-leg parlays together today. I'll share those with you guys. Big Scott, you have inspired me to share the rest. I think I'm 3 legs down already on an 8-legger. So what could go wrong? Let's go. And it's all, well, I think it's all totals. I think it is. So to stop Geo in the house. Let's go, you guys. Old E says, Justin McKelvey, limited cap for me, but I really like Hawaii team under. NC held them to 69, and they are 335th in points allowed. Nebraska should handle business. Jake Stone 9 says, happy holidays, Pimp. Thank you, Jake Stone 9. Happy holidays to you and your family, my friend. So nice to have you in here rocking with us all the time, doing the thing. Let's go, Sancho. Let's cash. Crap guy. Yeah. Fresno gave the game away. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Shout out Crystal Craig in the house. Good to see you, Crystal. And Jay Stone. F that juice. Play of the day is the Kraft touchdown. McManus over 1.5 field goals. And Jacobs over 15.5 receiving yards. How about we get going, you guys? How about that? Plus 1,100, a little 11-1 action from Jay Stone in the house. Shut the Fernando says, easy over on the Bucks. Let's get that cash. Yeah, let's get that cash. Let's go to work. It's time to get to work. It's time to get that cash. How about it? We'll use that as the send-off and lead in. Oh, it's tough getting old. Then it gets cold. And then all the injuries, all the issues. Oh, it's not so bad that I popped my shoulder out 12 years ago until it gets to be 10 degrees. And it hurts. That's what it does. It just downright hurts. It's crazy. It's crazy that it can heal and still hurt. But enough crying. Let's go. Not crying. You're crying. Let's go to talk about this first game in Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers. We'll go NHL. We'll go. I don't have any college basketball. the only play I have for college basketball is in play right now. So just full disclosure. And I took the +2 on Charleston. So you get them at 2.5 right now if you're so inclined. It was before it dropped to 2.5, and that's where it's sitting. 2s. Then it went down to 1.5, and it's back to 2.5. So, yeah, Charleston +2.5. There you go. Go grab that thing live if you're so inclined to college basketball. But we'll start with the NHL as we always do. And I'm just going to take a little more of that. Oh, fuck. I'm going to take the 2.5 and it drops back to 1 again. All right, forget it. Tampa Bay popping off here with Florida Panthers, and these guys just played. Just played alert. And we saw that the Florida Panthers busted them up. Busted that Tampa Bay Lightning squad up. And so we've got Jonas Johansson, 3-1-1. He's got a 3.84 goals against average. And I feel like, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me check this out. Let me make sure. Nobody said anything. Okay, you seem to be okay. Don't want to be too loud on the mic for you guys. Hopefully it's okay. Okay. And Johansson, 3-1-1, as I mentioned, with the 3.84 goals against average. Then we've got SpongeBob Bobrovsky, 16-6-1. Panthers won game 1, as I mentioned, on Sunday. They're going right back to the well. Uh-oh. What's going on with this little guy? What's going on with this guy? You're a little I've never seen. But we're still alive. Okay. Yeah. Computer did an update. Sometimes that happens. Shut the Luke Murphy. He says, Merry Christmas to everyone except the Fresno place kicker. Yeah, I missed the end of the game. So does that guy need to take a big lump of coal for Christmas? Is that what he means? I don't know. But anyhow, as I mentioned, going back to it here, Bobrovsky coming in 2.79 goals against average. Not where he expected to be at 89.6% save percentage, but has been heating up. 89.6 on the year. Sluggish start. 91.3% save percentage is good enough for 5-1 in his last 6 games. He's allowed 1 or fewer goals in that entire stretch. And now they got this second leg of, look at this thing, 37-34 at halftime for Charleston. Why didn't anybody say to take the first half? Give you guys the full game live. Nobody tells me to take the first half. I thought we were a team. You let me down, team. Anyways, we'll keep it short. Let's keep it sweet to the point. Get this thing rolling here. Not that we see it that often. It used to be more prevalent kind of back in the 80s and 90s when it came to the NHL, but this doubleheader, the back-to-back, the home-and-home series is what we have in this spot. And, you know, generally speaking, on the surface, you look at a home-and-home and you say, well, they're going to split them. That's what they do in basketball. Seems to be what they do in baseball. But remember, we talked about hockey athletes being far superior than the rest of all the professional ranks altogether. They don't sit out there and say, I'm going to take this one off. I don't want to play in the second end of a back-to-back. They get blasted in the face. They lose some teeth. They get a few stitches. Then they roll back out there to kick some ass. And if you want to quantify that ass kicking, when you win that first game and you're the favorite in the second game now at home, 15-3. 15-3 in that second leg of a back-to-back, as long as you're not a favorite of more than minus 200. So as long as you're not playing, and I don't know if it would even matter if it was minus 300s or 400s, other than maybe they would stop. I don't even know what the line's in there. It's a line parameter function that does trigger with this game because we're seeing minus 145s and minus 150s. A little juicy, maybe. But this is one of those spots where we've got a 15-3. I'm not trying to -1 this one and take it down to the wire. and then go into overtime and push. I want the win. I got a 15-3 trend. I'm fired off on the day. So I'm going to pop this thing off, and I'm just going to go after this, minus 152s are out there, minus 158s are out there, minus 160s. If you were going to play it on a minus, I would play the -1, not the regulation. The margin of victory in these games is 0.8 in that 15-3 trend that I was telling you guys about. That's where you just have to make the decision. For me, when I see a 15-3, like I said, I'm from the world of UFC betting, so minus 180s aren't out of the realm for me. If I was trying to turn it into a plus money spot, I would probably look to either the -1 or the Florida and the under 6.5. You got Bobrovsky covered in net. Maybe you could Florida Panthers team total over. I mean, the last game was 4-2 on a total of 6.5. So it was an easy, comfortable win for these boys, and the puck line very much was in play. I'm just telling you the reason that I took this big price tag, and it's because of a 15-3 angle in our favor. The second leg of a back doesn't happen that often. The last time it happened, let me see. I'm not going to be able to find that offhand. I shouldn't have put myself in that position. I set myself up to fail on that one. So that's the way we're going to pop today's card off. Shout out to Old E! Gifting $10 and 5 sports money memberships. Wow. Old E! If you don't watch, become a sports money member before Christmas. John McClain will come through here. You don't want that. John McClain did go on a show and said that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. But I do know who is a Die Hard here, and that's our guy, Old E. Rockin', man. What a gift. What a way to bless this week's action, Old E. Thank you so much. Man, that's really spectacular, brother. Thank you so much. Double whammy here with the gifted memberships and the donation, and blessed the action for sure. We're gonna have a great night tonight. I can tell it's gonna be one of them nights. So let's go. Thank you, Old E, my dude. Woo! That'll change things a little. That changes the dynamic a little here, huh? Let's roll. So we're taking the Panthers in leg number 1. Make sure you guys do check me out at BetStamp. You can find Mikey Money. You'll see the plays that I have out there. I log them all. See the lines that we're taking. You can do some line shopping yourself. So if you don't have the tools, you can find them at BetStamp. Not that they are a sponsor, but maybe they should be a sponsor. Huh? Maybe for 2025. I can't wait to share some of the things that are popping up. Only got me just jacked up thinking about everything that's happening here in the near future. Come here, big 2025, gang. Get fucking ready. That's all I got to say. Get ready, get set. We're going. Come with us or don't, but I recommend you do. Down the rip, here's a couple of spots that I like for you guys that I did not get involved with here. The Flyers-Penguins game. Big line moving towards the Flyers. Not involved. Capitals-Bruins. You know the deal. Capitals are on the shit list. I would take the Bruins. Spot that I really like that just missed the cut. Let me make sure it's not on here. Yeah, just missed the cut. The over in the Canadiens Blue Jackets and the first period over as well. Don't hear me say that very often, but how about this? In fact, I am going to add this one. Columbus and Montreal. I know it's Montembeault going in net for Sammy Montembeault's going in net for the Montreal Canadiens. And the Golden Jet Greaves will be starting for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Montembeault 12-13 on the season. Does have 3 shutouts. Canadiens have won 3 straight. They are outscoring their opponents 15-5, and they are looking like the right play tonight. But the Golden Jet Greaves, he's struggling at 3.3 goals against average on his season out there. Hasn't gotten a win yet this season. It has not been easy going. Keep in mind, these are some of those positions where we talked about the Christmas break. Some of these guys just in fuck off land. They're just trying to maximize the rest potential they can give their players. And this will be the last game for the Blue Jackets against La Habitants. On the flip side, it's the last game for the Canadiens. So it seems to me by Montembeault going back in goal, the Canadiens are sending that message that they want this game. I'm taking the first period over. In 16 home games, Columbus has gone over that total 12 times. In 14 road games, the Habs are 10-3 to the over. Crazy spots out there. Just a monster. I think there's a lot of goals scored in this game as well. I think this is one of those full game over opportunities. But I like the line right now. Let me just do a quick tag of line shopping here. This is one of those ones where I was like, do I want to get what's going on here? What's going on here? Let me find some numbers. Let's talk some numbers. This is a big trender. Columbus has been a monster over team, as we mentioned lately, and I believe it was Ramon Scott that kind of clued me into that little run that was going on out there with the morning steam and it being an under team or an over team. Then you start to dig in and you see some of these metrics that just show you both these teams. Both of them are very capable of either going hot or goaltenders just playing like absolute dog shit. So first period over 1.5. 140s, 137s. Let's see, there's a 140, 140, 140, 143, 141, 140. All right. Probably what I should be doing instead of just doing this on the fly is taking a half a unit on the first period over and a half a unit on the full game over. But fuck it. We're gambling. We're in the game. Big trends, as I mentioned, 16 home games, Columbus. 12 times that first period has gone over. Everyone thinks it's the Vegas Golden Knights. The Columbus Blue Jackets. And nobody's talking about that in the first period. 14 road games. The Habs are an over team on the road as well. They don't care home or road. They just want to get out there and see some scores. 10-3. 10-3-1. So technically, they must have had a 2 in there to get a tie because you certainly can't tie at a 1.5. So we'll take that Montreal Canadiens first period over 1.5 as a little value adder. And then the game of the night, it's going to be this Buffalo Sabres spot. Now, some of you guys did tune in on the weekend, and you heard me take the Sabres. And I lost. It wasn't a blowout loss. It was just a loss. But whether it was a blowout or not, they all do count as one loss. And in this case here, I got a plus 136 price tag. I got the sky falling on this Islanders team right now. The price tag on this Islanders team has gone from minus 162 to minus 150. Jay Peasy says, game of the night. I agree, Jay Peasy. I agree with you. I know you're being sarcastic, but look, I'll simplify the breakdown. Let me simplify it. I'm taking the plus money shot with the Sabres. At the foundation, I don't want to say the foundation, but maybe peg 2 of the process. I'm not sure, right? We were talking earlier today about this with Gonzo and the capping process kind of being, it's a blend of art and science, right? It's not like you can use trends and you're not going to win all the time. And so sometimes you have to kind of plug your gut in there and data and formulas and spreadsheets. We all know that it's a combination and a balance, and we all can probably attest to that in some degree. It's not just what the numbers say, it's how you interpret the numbers and then ultimately pull the trigger, right? And as long as you're over 60% better, then you're going to be profitable over the long run. And that's what it's all about. It's a sprint and a marathon. It's not a marathon. I want to win money in the next 5 years. I need to win money today. I need to be able to take withdrawals tomorrow. And then I'm going to continue to build this fucking thing all week long and all month long. Otherwise, the lights don't stay on. It's a simple matter of fact. So it's a sprint and a marathon. And capping is an art and science. Somewhere along the way, I looked to see that 10 spot. When we get over that 10 spot, it's hard to keep it rolling. And you can be really bad, there's no doubt about it, and find yourself in that position. But as I look at these two teams, first of all, we know that the Sabres are broken. There's no question about it. There's no sense to belabor the point. They're a shit team. They are bringing UPL out there. 13-game losing streak. But now is the spot that I wanted to fire on. I said this on Saturday. 0-7-3 doesn't necessarily amount. I mean, it's 10-game losing streak, but there's 3 overtime beats in there. So it's not true double digits. Now we're at true double digits, 0-10-3. 10. When we get to that 10, that's where I want to start looking to fire. And, from an overall performance, they're just bad all around. They did make changes to shore some things up. The first change they had to do was they had to send Devin Levi back down to Rochester. Too young, too early. And you got to get some confidence in your number one goaltender, who is Pekka Luukkonen. Started out the season firing at 91.4%, and they were 8-5. He's since regressed to 85%. Probably closer to who he is, somewhere in that 89% overall goaltending average. Now they do have revenge on the mind. They lost 3-0. They got shut out almost a full month ago to these Islanders. Now the Islanders, on the other hand, are going to Sorokin. 11th straight start for Sorokin. So I laugh because you don't see that very often. Like, what do they get? They get nothing else on the bench? Nothing? I mean, is Patrick Waugh going to go put the equipment on if something happens to Ilya Sorokin? And in that case, he did have a pretty decent go. 6-3 win over the Maple Leafs. Now, you get fired up. This is scheduling 101. You get fired up to go play a Maple Leafs team. You get that big win for a mediocre team, an average team that is the New York Islanders. They go out. It was a Toronto spot, the capital of hockey in Canada. Everyone's fired up, hooting and hollering. Now, they got shut out by Carolina, 4-0. So we expect them to come back that next game and fire and score, and they did. Now you got the Sabres rolling into town. Lowly Buffalo Sabres. It's the last day before the break. Scheduling 101 will tell you this is the Sabres spot where they say, boys, let's just get this win. Let's give it everything we got. Let's get into the All-Star break, and we can reevaluate this thing and try to turn the corner in the second half of the season. We got the 10-game losing factor. We got the schedule overlook spot for the Islanders, having just beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we've got to just finish it out strong. At a plus 140-ish price tag? Yeah. That's why I'm taking a shot at it. Yes. Is it going to win? I hope so. That's the best I can give you for a reason why I want to get involved in this game. Now, I don't like that Rasmus Dahlin's not going to be in. Shows that he's day-to-day. I think I saw something earlier today that said he was going to be out. But look, the goaltending issue is bleak. It's Varlamov, and Varlamov is out. So I love to take advantage of those teams as well. It's another box checker for me that says when you've only got the one goalie, look, we see these times where these goalies get busted up. We see 6 goals get let in there, and they got to keep them in because they don't have anybody else. They're not going to the emergency backup that happens to be the Zamboni driver. They're not doing that. It's the best reason I can give you for it. Make your own decisions. I'm telling you that living and dying by that rationale and looking at this process, am I going to take some losses? Yeah. Am I going to catch some wins? Yeah. And because we're catching them at plus 140s over the long haul, we'll see. That's the best I can give you. I thought it was a rational, sound argument. I haven't been drinking yet. It sounded right. And it's a good plus money price tag. So let's roll. Let's go onward and upward. I know it's not going to be everybody's favorite, but just a little 101 as far as kind of how I look at the spot and why I can arrive at, I don't like taking those shortcuts in those corners. Some of these first halves, and like I just took the first period for Montreal, my success ratio when I start to look at slimming games down and trying to kind of like cheat the corners and just get the quick score doesn't necessarily happen. I know there's some spots that they do, but I need the full stretch. I need the full stretch with 2 bad teams trying to get this thing over with before they go on the Christmas break. Not going to mess around with the first period in this one. Give me the Sabres full game. And 8 p.m. brings us to the next spot. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Nashville Predators. Look at this line. Suspect. This line opened at minus 135. It's down to minus 122. And we've kind of got a situation that another spot I want to hammer. What's Carolina doing as they get ready to go into the All-Star break? Well, they just beat up on a bad Rangers team. So there's a little overvaluation there, maybe, potentially. You beat them up 3-1, but they're shit. They're terrible. You also have this now being the 3rd straight game on the road. before they sneak back home for a couple days. Then they go back on the road. This is this Carolina Hurricanes to start the second half of the season off against the New Jersey Devils. That will be a back-to-back, by the way. So we'll keep an eye on that first game. And if New Jersey wins, we're going to play New Jersey again in the second game. It's the way it works. That's just like the Florida Panthers scenario. So put yourself in that psyche. I'm going to have a couple of days off. I'm already on this 3-game road trip. It's kind of a little grueling. We played Washington. We played the Rangers. Now we're playing Nashville. Then I get like 28 hours at home with my family, and then I got to go back on the road again to play the Devils. It's an exhaustion spot. And they're giving this one the punt. They're putting Tokarski in. Now, in all fairness, this last game was not bad. 4-1 win, but it was against the Blue Jackets. This guy hasn't played in the NHL in 2.5 years for a reason. And it's not because they were waiting. He's 35 years old. What are they waiting for? Christmas? No pun intended. And then on the other side of things here, what's going on with this Nashville team? Well, guess what? They're finally starting to figure some shit out. 2-1 in their last 3 games. They're kind of on that win one, lose one scenario. Perfect situation that they're going to finish off a 4-game homestand, get a couple, no travel, a couple of days to rest up and recharge, and then they go on the road. The first game is against the St. Louis team that's an under capital. And what do we know about home teams when they're on the road against the St. Louis Blues the following game? They're winning at a 68% clip. Them home teams they are. And guess what happens to be the number one sharp, I don't want to say sharp chaser, the sharp action report? The one that scares the books the most is the Nashville Predators tonight in an ideal optimum scheduling position and another plus 112, plus 111 price tag. I'll take UC Saros as the better goaltender here in this Carolina spot that I think is in a punt. Not wrong with it because we're taking some great plus value, I think, on the home team that doesn't have to go through that holiday travel. The fact that we add that St. Louis Blues next, a little cherry on top. Great price point. It's a great spot for this team. And I think it's a when you first approach this game and you're looking at it, man, it's like, what's going on here? What am I looking at? Why is this price tag so low for this Carolina Hurricanes team that should be fired? Last but not least, if you needed any additional incentive, the fade opportunity comes in where you've got a rested team versus an opponent on the second leg of a back-to-back. So yesterday's overvaluation and beating up the New York Rangers, now going again to travel. We already talked about that soft travel spot. 64 and 36 are those rested teams when they've got the opponent on the second leg of the back-to-back. That makes sense, right? They're tired. They're on a lengthy road trip. They got a shitload break for Christmas, and then they go back. And it's 9-1 in its last 10. On 8-game heater. So we talked about this back-to-back scenario quite a few times just to show some different examples of how you guys can try to leverage those opportunities in your own right. Look for, we talked about the one that's coming up. Kind of gave you guys a look-ahead schedule spot as well. So a couple different opportunities here, not just making plays. Teach some people how to fish. All right, this is the one I fucked up. Full disclosure. It's not the Sharks in Vancouver. What it is a parlay. And the parlay is Dallas in the under. I don't know how I did that. I don't know what happened there. That wasn't even close. It's not even close. There's not even a D in San Jose and Vancouver. Dallas isn't going to Ottinger. They're going to Casey DeSmith. Probably makes sense. And he's not playing terrible. He's got a 90.9% save percentage with a 2.46 goals against average. Carl Pavelka on the other side, average, 8-7-2, 91.8%. Man, I cashed the other day with Anaheim Ducks, 5-4 against Utah yesterday. And here we go. Second leg of a back-to-back. We have a bounce-back team in this Dallas Stars. Dallas has been one of the best teams in the NHL to bounce back. And now they're in a situation where they lost twice. So the last game before the break, they go to Casey DeSmith. He's holding his own. Not fantastic. He's just 3-4 on the season. but he's fresh. He hasn't started since December 2nd. He's going to go out there and try to give it his all. And it was a phenomenal. This was the spot where they plugged this guy in to stop the bleeding, and he came out there and went over the top. 36 saves on 37 shots against who? The Utah Hockey Club. They beat him 2-1. The Yetis. Now you got this tired team in Utah. Had a game against Anaheim. Went to overtime, by the way. So you got the extra advantage of tired legs in there. We got the Dallas Stars trying to bounce back. They've already shown they can beat this team. Why isn't this a revenge opportunity bounce back? Because we're not seeing the Utah Yeti as a favorite. But how about this one? Favorites versus a team coming off an overtime loss as a favorite. They certainly were the Utah Yeti against the Anaheim Ducks. The reason I took the Anaheim Ducks is because they were sitting at a plus 195 price tag against this Yeti team that's soft. Those teams are on an 8-2 run, 66-23. One of the strongest trends on the board tonight. Ready to roll. Road warrior teams. Dallas Stars have been playing better on the road as well. And that doesn't matter if the under comes into play. So I'm all in on the side with Dallas. I just wanted to find a way to get the juice down on this one. And again, I want the regulation factor. I don't like to take teams in regulation on the road. I don't know why. I feel like that's you're not just up against the other team, but you're also dealing with the home crowd to some degree. I don't know, it's just something's principle that's in my head. But when you are in a spot where you're rematching the opponent that you played, and you gave the puck away more than 15 times with less than 2 days rest, and the opponent sitting there on a no rest situation, 37-77 to the under. 37-77 to the under. The last time you played him, you gave up a shitload of pucks. Lots of giveaways, short rest. What do? What does that mean? You got to play defense is what that means. Stop making stupid mistakes that are costing you the game. You're on short rest, so you can't afford to go out there and run and gun on the offense. You're tired. You're trying to get through it. And you're 37-77 to the under. 37-77 to the under. Give me Dallas in the under. We get a nice plus 208 price tag. That brings us home for the NHL. What do you guys think about that? Steve says, I can't bring me either. Me either. JP says, I don't know who Dustin Booker is because he's a fucking scrub. He hasn't played in 2.5 years. He played once in 2.5 years. Once in 2.5 years. All right, you guys, let's move on. Let's keep a brisk pace. Look at 7:45. Don't mess around. We're going to get after it. Let's let our guy Nasty Nate bring us into this opportunity. Look, you don't get him very often. This is where we talk about. We use tools, we use technology, and we use expertise, experience. Not seeing things for the first time, but we've been over this stuff. And so we can catalog, we can pull from we can look at the tools and technology, and they give us the compass. They're pointing us in that direction. And then we look for some of those, oh yeah, I remember these type of situations. And that pops us off at 7 p.m. with the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Celtics came in at 6.5 point road favorites. Took me a second to process that. Yikes. And it's moved to 10.5. You got 55% of the bets on the Magic. You got 56% of the cash on the Celtics. Then you look at the total. The total's dropped from 217 down to 214.5. You got 88% of the bets and 90% of the cash on the over. Yet it's dropping like a rock. Drop. Can't wait to say some of that tonight. And we got the Magic coming off of a bust-up. Busted them up. 121-114 to the Miami Heat. Now, I'm personally in a position where I'm contemplating fuck the Heat and putting them on the shit list as well. I don't think I have them on the list. Do I have them tonight? No. I want to fade the Heat tonight, too. They're bad. They're not good when they're 1 or 2 point favorites. They're not good when they're 10 or 12 point. If they're not good at 2 point favorite, what makes you any better at 10 points? It's weird. And so here's a scheduling opportunity. The Orlando Magic played 3 straight home games, 4 of their last 5 at home. And guess what? They are sitting on their bumps through this Christmas break. They get the day off. And then they got Miami coming back at home again. Home. They'll finish off almost a 7-game homestand, 8 in their last 9. Orlando's not going nowhere. On the other side of things, guess who is? Boston. So if you want to try to find motivation, you got a Boston Celtics team, probably best in the East, maybe best in the NBA as a whole. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. They're playing on Christmas. The Magic ain't playing again until the day after. So you're getting everything you got from the Magic. They're not looking ahead to the Heat because they're looking ahead to Santa Claus. And is there an element where Boston might have gotten a little tired, a little sluggish? Well, 117-108 loss to the Bulls. Yeah. Now they fired it back up 2 days later. Same team, changed locations. Second leg of the back-to-back. Or second leg of the home and home. 123-98. So they went out there and they gushed them. And now, are we buying high? Or I'm sorry, are we selling high? Maybe. Maybe, just maybe. How about this? When the Celtics come off a game that they allow less than 103 points, and they're playing in conference opponents, they're 0-9 against the spread. They're losing by 11.5 points a clip. Does that mean that the Orlando Magic are live dogs? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that. But I know the fact that this line has swelled as far as it has gets me involved on the Orlando Magic side. And 0-9, now I know we're almost at that 0-10 and start looking the other way, but we don't look the other way until we get to the 10. And it's a perfect situation where it's almost like it's book foolery here. They're begging you to just fucking hammer, in my opinion, they're begging you to hammer away on they're saying, look at this line. They started it low. They're sucking everything in here on this Boston Celtics side of things. Keep buying them, keep buying them, keep buying them, keep buying them. But our sell high spot is the fact that we're playing book foolery. They played that last game against the Bulls. They had back-to-back spots against the Bulls. Of course they were going to go out there and bust them up and shut them down. They're holding opponents on average to less than 100 points. And this trend becomes active in that situation. I almost feel like we're cheating. On this one. I hope you guys feel the same way. I know Nasty Nate doesn't feel the same way, but let's go. Shout out the Razor Sharp Picks. Big night tonight for them Green Bay Packers. Let's go. Textiles in the house. As Orlando always plays Boston strong. Hard for me to look any. Yeah. And they got nothing left. They got cookies and Santa versus Boston has to get ready to go play that Christmas game. I love it. I think it's a great spot. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points for a reason. But, man, the public has dummied this line up, and now it's starting to come back down. It's coming back down. And Rozier's out tonight. I think Orlando's a lot done. We'll reevaluate. We'll put a pin in that and reevaluate that when we get on the live stream and see just am I out of my fucking mind or not. Also, Porzingis, you know the deal. We got to look to some Porzingis action. Let's go to game number 2. Ramon Scott says Luka upgraded to probable tonight versus Portland. Okay. Let's keep her moving. Moving on down the pipe. Look, it's another one of them opportunities. At least when I approached the card and was looking, I mean, it's a big card, so you can be a little bit more selective when you're trying to find some of these spots here. The Timberwolves opened up as 4.5 point favorites. They have dropped to 3.5s, 3s, and 2.5s. You have 79% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the home dog, the Atlanta Hawks. Then you get a total that's gone from 225.5 to 228. now seeing 228.5s out there. You got 78% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the over in State Farm Arena. Atlanta popping off, ready to roll. And what are we going to see? Well, what do we know? The Atlanta Hawks are back at doing Hawks things. And that's losing. Losing at home, losing on the road. They're 1-4 in their last 5. They got busted up by Memphis, 128-112. And the Timberwolves, well, they're only 2-3. So you could argue both these two teams are shit. Between these two shit teams, one of them's coming out there on the top as the victor, or at least as the favorite. And this is where I got to put the big question mark out there. What are we seeing? Why are we seeing this one? Well, how about this? Road favorites after back-to-back losses as home favorites. Two shit teams, one's marked the favorite. This is where I feel like we have the cheat code for the sports books. Why are they a favorite? Why are they a favorite? Well, they're a favorite because in those spots, those road favorites are 32-14. So they lost twice. They're on the road. They're a favorite, and they're 32-14. Also, how about this? Look, the triple revenge factor. You lost to a team not once, not twice, 3 times, but now I guess you're in the quadruple spot against an opponent. 10-0 are teams in those positions out there. This is the Minnesota Timberwolves' opportunity to hunt. I think we eat. We'll take the road favorite. You're going to have to price shop. I think the number I got was 3.5. And there were some 4s. But I love this. You look at this number, and yeah, we see it's coming down a little bit. Now, at the end of the day, Bogdan Bogdanović is probable. DeAndre Hunter, probable. And really, from the Timberwolves side of things, everybody looks like they're good to go. So this should be all hands on deck. This should be finish it off strong. But let me tell you, you don't want to be involved in the Atlanta Hawks at home. Then you look at the other side of things, man. Look at the Timberwolves. They're not a bad little road number. They stink at home. But look, they're 14-3 straight up. 14-11 as a favorite. I'll take a shot with them. They're bad at home. They're both these teams are 4-10 against the spread at home. But Timberwolves are 7-6 on the road against the spread. They're a favorite for a reason. We're going to fade away. They're going to bounce back. This is a double bounce back spot. You got the back-to-back home favorite losses, and you lost to a team 3 times. I mean, it's bounce back galore. It's one of those spots that we love to take advantage of here, and we're going to. The average margin in those spots was 6 points. So 2.5s, 3.5s, and 4s aren't enough for me to be concerned about it one way or the other. So let's go. Let's go. KV's in the house. What's up, KV? Shout out Jared Bush is here. Jim Dewinger's in the house. Looks like this is currently off the board, Mike. All right, let's finish this up. Actually, you know what? Bear with me for one. Uno momento, por favor. Let me get this play in. The more I look at this Flyers game, the more I want to whoops. Just gets me. Just gets me. All right, let me just finish this. Finish this. Finish that. Okay. Sorry about that. Away we go. What do we got next? Oh, you guys know what we got next. We got next, baby. We got Boots. He's back in the game. And he came off of what's more important, 0 3-pointers his last game. 0. None. Nada. Nilch. And how about this? If you want to go, I'm going to keep it brief because we've talked about this guy every single time I play him and why I keep going back to him. How about this? So he's coming off a 0. He attempted 4. But remember the previous game, he had, 7 or 8 against the Celtics? So they're a little bit more ready for him this last game. That's going to happen. He's going to be squared up against Brook Lopez. Okay. And then at the same time, it's his effectiveness. Who's the best three-point shooter of all time? Arguably. Steph Curry. Is it arguable or not? He reinvented the game. 42.5% is what he shoots from beyond the three. Well, what's Boost doing this year? It's 46.5% this season. I know it's not the same, pedigree or established career that we've seen from Steph Curry, but he's shooting pretty damn well. And my point is he's coming off of a 0. I think it's a great opportunity for us to drop back. It's another low price tag, and it's a low price tag because he's coming off of missing. Then I went to the Bulls. I'll give you guys I should have probably started with the low on the totals on this, but that's okay. I had got myself distracted by having to place that Canadiens first period bet, make sure that was in. And we look at this Bulls game. KV dropped in there about whom owns whom. We see that the Bulls popped off as plus 1.5. They're now minus 2.5. And you got everybody betting on the Bucks. 61% of the bets, 59% of the cash coming in on the Bucks. I guess it's not everybody, but it's a lot. Then we got a total that's dropped 10 full points. This is where the other factor is. When you see like Boost and you start seeing those 235 totals, get me in. There's going to be points. And he's shooting at almost 50% from the three. He only needs 2. I love it. But then we look at this total. It's dropped 10 full points, even 11 in some markets. 81% of the bets and 83% of the cash are on the over. It has come down. We just got to look and say, well, is it a function of injuries? Lonzo Ball, Josh Giddey will be out. Giannis says he's out. Dame time. It ain't Dame time. I don't know if he's necessarily out or not. Beauchamp is probable. So that's where we see the number, why it is the way it is, right? Think about what we talked about, too. Last game was a Friday when the player was announced in, and it was only a half a point. It's cooked in the lineup. Remember when everybody was like in Providence, they're gonna struggle because their guy's out? It's baked in. They almost won the goddamn game outright. Start looking at these teams and their performance out there. I mean, overall, yeah. Tricky angle when you look at this Bulls team because, frankly, that back-to-back spot with Boston, and they've been kind of sitting on their heels on their hands for the last 2 days. They really haven't played anybody of note. They did lose to the Sixers, which is a big red flag for me. They ripped off 3 straight wins, but it was against the Hornets, Toronto. They did go into Boston and get the win, but then they got stomped in the following game. And the Bucks, they started figuring things out. We faded them against Cleveland. That was their loss. Then they come back and they play the Wizards. They come up with a 112-101 win. Listen, it's only a week and a half ago that I said nobody wants to play in Milwaukee. The boys went out. Look at the beat reports. Nothing's fun. They had to build that multi-million-dollar practice facility for Giannis just to keep him there. Then they had to bring Dame time in just to keep him there. Not happy. Just because they won the NBA Cup doesn't mean to me. I think that was more a reflection. We talked about this when that game went down, that Giannis wants that in his back pocket. This is about the Bulls. This is about the Bulls being a perfect 12-0 against the spread, 12-0 straight up, at home, after a loss that went under the total. And it went under the total because they only got 98 points. So it goes under, gets to 98. Of course, they're going to come back. It's that classic bounce back, use a lot of the same terminology because that's a lot of the way that I get involved with the cap of the games here. I look for the trends. I look for the angles. I look for the motivation spots. Try to kind of bring all of those together in one piece. And, of course, look, last game before they go back home and take on Brooklyn, then they got to travel again to Chicago. This is that definition of a shit-looking schedule spot. They had 2 games at home. Played down in Vegas. They got Chicago on the road. They go to Christmas. No Christmas Day games for the Milwaukee Bucks because the league knows people don't want to play in Milwaukee. Then they got Brooklyn at home before they go back on the road again to take on that Chicago team. Mindset probably is we'll get one of these next two against Chicago. We'll be fine. And now we see this line and we see these players being out. We see a perfect 12-0 stretch. We've got the Sports Almanac. It's by way of our trends and analysis and trying to figure out when you start looking at those trends and then you look over and you see what's going on with the sports books. Makes sense. I'll take a shot with it. Remote says Toronto Barnett upgraded to probable. First the Knicks. Tatum will not start tonight. Downgraded to questionable. Tatum. Such a you-know-what. New Orleans wide receiver Valdez Scantling is out. I've got one more game here in the NBA. I messed up my graphic for it. So we'll put this Monday Night Football up there. And we'll drop this one out here. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. Yeah, I'll take the points. I think this is live dog as well. I don't mind parlaying the Magic with these boys here on top of that. Because I believe in them being that, you know what, and maybe even the Wizards. The Wizards should not, I'm sorry, the Nets. The Heat don't belong as a 10-point favorite at home. I was tempted, just so you guys know, like one of the first cuts for me was the Nets in the first half again. I think I've lost like the last two on that, so I'm feeling a little lumped up by it. Haven't quite pulled the trigger yet, but here we go. 58% of the bets and 62% of the cash on the Suns. The line's gone from +8 to 4.5, so we've got correlated line movement. We've got no movement on the total, 231.5. Maybe 2 points, I guess it's coming out. 233.5 to 231.5. We have 86% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over, and it's gone junk. Cash coming in on the Jover, and it's moving to the junker. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it simple for you guys. Nuggets, yeah, they played well. They've been starting to pick it up. They're coming back home after 3 straight road games, though. They've gone 3-1 in their last 4. The Suns, on the other hand, just 2-3 in their last 3. I don't like the scheduling spot. I don't like the spot in general for these. When you look at it overall, just hear me out. The Nuggets just won a game in overtime against the Pelicans. They played down to their competition. Are the Suns equal to the Pelicans? Yay or nay? Somewhat rhetorical. When you've got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Nurkic in there, you're in good shape. They come back. They put, you look at that last game. When I talk about the scheduling spot for the Nuggets, that was not an easy victory for them boys. They had to gas it out. At the Pelicans, 132 to 129, took overtime to get that win. And then they travel all the way back home after being on the road for 3 games. I don't care, this line doesn't make sense at all. 8 points in the first place. Now it's down to 4.5. I'm good with it. I'm going to jump in on this Sun side of things here. I'll keep it short for you guys. This is just one of those spots where, the Nuggets can start playing well at all. But they have a 15, 16-game losing streak. Lost to the Trailblazers, who's worse in the division. This is a bad team in this Nuggets. They don't want to play ball. They certainly don't want to play ball the day before Christmas. If you'll remember, we saw everyone's favorite MVP talking about how he didn't even want to do the parade. He just wanted to go home and race his ponies. That's the kind of leaders you have in that squad. I'll take the Suns. I'll take the +4.5. Again, I believe they win this thing outright. I think it's a great dog opportunity for them. But I also know that Steam report or Sharp Tracing report, the Sharp analysis came in, and it was on the Suns. And we've been firing when those opportunities come out. And there's no reason not to take advantage. This line's come down pretty significantly. I think my gut tells me that these guys are live dogs to the nth degree. And that's what we try to capitalize on. So let's go. Juggler says bad scheduling spot for Denver. He agrees. I think that the Magic are live dogs, man. I told you guys, that's a great question, Big Scott. Yeah, I mean, it is a little weird. I told you guys before, I'm not going to come in here and try to give you something that moves a half a point. And I'm like, oh, shit, sorry, we can't do it. I want to try to find those spots where there's enough of a margin behind the trend that it covers that money line or that point spread and shows a potential to win outright. Those are the spots that I like to come in and fire with you guys. And so, yeah, sprinkling little, sprinkles, nothing crazy, but yeah, I think you can take a little shot at something like that. You don't want to, the biggest thing is get your money, right? So if you're a $500 bettor or say you're a $100 bettor, just keep the math simple for me. When you put $100 down on that 10.5, you're expecting to win that 10.5, right? Then you just have to decide, is it a quarter unit that you throw? Are you just throwing $25 down to try to win the plus 340? The way I would look at that is, if this was the game that I wanted to attack, then I would look to say, you know what, I got to do about a third of a unit, because a third of a unit will pay me a full unit. And now I've got 1 1/3 units in risk to win ultimately 2 outright. But worst case, they cover the spread and don't win outright. I'm still picking up 2/3 of a unit and continuing to grow the bankroll, right? So that's kind of some of the spots. Just some simple, basic math stuff, I guess, but 2 touches on $5 better. Okay, 6. Yeah, 6 makes it easier for me. And then I can use it in $2 increments. The Penguins are on the board at 1-0. All right, look, guys, Monday Night Football. We'll dig more into this when we get on the live stream here, but there's only one way I can play this game. It's the teaser. We've been talking about the teasers being successful. I don't love this number for Green Bay. Big. Look at Green Bay's losses. I'll just kind of hint that, just touch on this a little bit. They lost to the upcoming Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, down in Brazil. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Detroit. So their only losses are against the best teams in the league. The Saints are horrible. They're 5-9. They got to go to Spencer Rattler. Their best guy running the ball and receiving the ball is Alvin Kamara, and he's out. I don't know what I'm missing here. My only concern are the Saints so bad that we see the Green Bay Packers blow this number out on their own. I know a lot of colleagues, a lot of friends looking at the over and the teaser because they want to get that number below so that they can expect that if we do see 10, 12 points out of the New Orleans Saints, that's going to keep them in play for their teaser. Here's the way I expect. If you're fucked all around, you got no quarterback, you got no running back, you're down on wide receivers, you're down. And you know that this offense for Green Bay can be explosive. What do you want to do? Well, you're certainly not going to put Spencer Rattler in a position to be making Herculean, effort and then making stupid turnovers. As long as he hangs on to the ball, I think the game plan is run it, pound the clock, get the hell out of this game and just move on, because right now you just don't have enough pieces to go compete with one of the best in the NFL. I'll deny saying that to Razor later. But just too many weapons. And I hope I'm not underthinking this spot here. I don't know how much sizzle we have to put into this thing here. I don't like, I know some people would say like, well, I'll just split it and I'll take the first half because it's a big number. I don't disagree with that. We've used that strategy several times and been successful with it. But in this case here, I think what would you be worried about? The backdoor cover from the Saints? Or would you rather see if they're going to chew the clock? Green Bay just continues to be more efficient and effective with the ball moving around the field and continues to widen that gap. Watch them cover the first half by a touchdown, but not get the 8.5s and 9s that have now moved. I see even some 10s out there, 9.5s and 10s. Watch them win this first half by 7, but by the end of the game, they're up by like 18. Because they're just over-talented. Yeah, you could argue the other guys are professionals too, but they're 3rd and 4th stringers. They're rookies and second-year players. They're fill-ins against a dynamite team that's trying to keep pace to be one of the best in the NFC. Bad schedule spot for these boys as well, but I'm going to tease it. I'm going to tease this game with the Packers down to 8. I got the under 50. I'm just hoping that Spencer Rattler doesn't create short field positions that just fuck everything up for me. That's what I'm hoping for. So it's going to be how we do it, you guys. We're going to get, Ramon Scott says, Tatum officially out. Okay. Going to be a lot of fun tonight, you guys. Appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for coming in here, checking us out. And remember, just 30 minutes away, live streaming. See the boys here. Get on screen. Going to make some. I got the same game parlay cooked up. I'm ready to serve it. I cashed that 55-1 earlier today. No shit. Big win. And I'm trying to go back after it. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight on behalf of the Sports Money crew. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to catch the morning steam with Ramon Scott. And we're going to get hot, baby. It's Christmas time. We got bills to pay. Only way to do that here is to get back in the game, win this cash. Appreciate my guy Oldie gifting the 5 Sports Money memberships and blessing our action with the $10 dono. We'll see you guys real soon. Thank you, guys. Good luck with your bets tonight. And get your butts back here. 30 minutes. We go live. Live streaming with Razor Sharp and the